through each of those. Fighting systemic injustice. This is an application we have to make based on the incarnation to fight systemic injustice. God's hatred of injustice dominates the biblical storyline. Just do a search for how many times the word justice or injustice is used in the Bible. It's dominating. Read through the prophets and observe as they consistently attack systems of injustice and they call God's people to fight for justice. Isaiah 58 is a great example of this. And Isaiah records this dialogue between God's people and God himself. And they say, we've been fasting and we've been praying, God, and you're not listening to us. And as part of the refrain, as God speaks to them here, Isaiah says, God's words, quoted by Isaiah, is this not the fast that I choose? To loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the straps of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke. What God is saying is that if you will fast for those who are oppressed and for that to be broken and to go away, then I will listen to you. Then I will pay attention to you. That's what I want you to fast for. So we see in that his heart is for those who are oppressed. His heart is for those who are suffering and chained by systemic injustice. See, Jesus consistently in his life fought injustice. He calls others to do the same. He challenged tax collectors in their financial oppression of others. He rebuked Pharisees for creating unreasonable obstacles to worshiping God. So our calling is to identify these broken places and to combat them. One area in East St. Louis that we feel compelled to address as Rebirth is housing. Slumlords really dominate. They dominate the housing market in East St. Louis, and they prey upon residents through shady contractual arrangements and forcing people to live in substandard conditions. And after observing this for 5 years, I thought if these men can make so much money treating people, robbing them of their dignity and treating them with injustice, then why can't we do it and create revenue in a way that holistically disciples our kids? And, when you start praying about that kind of thing, God does some strange things, right? And so instead of saying, yeah, that's a great idea, as our staff team prayed for, he said, well, go do it. Go do it. And so Rebirth is launching a new ministry we're calling R3 Development. And our heart is to acquire, to renovate, to lease or sell homes in East St. Louis for the good of the city's people and the development of our youth, the city's youth, the leaders of tomorrow. We'll be able to employ our Rebirth youth to renovate the homes alongside skilled workers and volunteers and contractors. So we want to restore integrity to the marketplace, to respect the dignity of the residents there, and to revitalize community. I mean, really, that's a fancy way of saying we are trying to push out darkness with light. We're trying to push out darkness with light because that's what the incarnation screams for us to do. It's what we're called to do as followers of Jesus. And we have a lot more questions than we have answers. I had a lot more questions than I had answers 6 years ago when my wife and I moved out to the area to start Rebirth. But God doesn't give you all the answers. He gives you a call and you take a step. You don't have to jump 20 steps down the line. You take a step, then you take a next step and a next step. And that's our calling. Not to have all the answers, but to take a step. So if you want to fight injustice, look around you and what feels wrong? What feels wrong? What makes your stomach turn? Because you know it's wrong. It just makes you physically uneasy. And don't just complain, all right, but act. Take action. Be a part of the solution. Take that step. The incarnation demands it.